Russian President Vladimir Putin coming out yesterday warning Donald Trump's life is still in danger, that he won't be safe until he's sworn in on January 20th. Also, what was behind Mark Zuckerberg's meeting at Mar-a-Lago? What really happened? Get ready for the Facebook files, folks. Also, the latest out of New York. What the hell's happening in the state of New York? We have the latest. And who are Democrats now choosing to lead their party? Who's the head of their party? It sure as hell isn't Joe Biden. Wait till you see who's making a comeback. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. President Putin of Russia comes out yesterday in a press conference warning that Donald Trump's life is still in danger, that he's being hunted, and that he won't be safe until he's sworn in January 20th, 2025. We're going to play you the full statement in a minute, but just for some context, this was during a press conference he gave yesterday to inform Russia that war with the West has officially started, that after Biden's decision last week authorizing the use of US-made long-range missiles inside Russia, which, by the way, have to be programmed by either US service people or NATO personnel. Each and every strike has to be programmed by an American. An American has to literally plug in the coordinates that the Ukrainians provide to us, which is the key. US and NATO service people are assisting in lobbing those missiles into Russia, something you won't hear on mainstream media. So 6 weeks to go before Trump comes into office, Biden does this, walking us into a direct hot war with the largest nuclear power in the world. Why? Why would he do that? We said last week, right after Biden did this, that it was odd how Trump hasn't mentioned this. No statement from Trump at all about Biden's decision. The last time we heard Trump talk publicly about the war was at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. We also have those videos from him last year saying he wants to destroy the neocons that perpetuate endless war, but absolutely nothing about Biden's decision. The silence from the Trump team has been deafening. We had asked last week if Trump had prior knowledge about this. Did he know about this beforehand? Did he give his blessing to Biden in that 2-hour meeting they had at the White House? I think he did. He needed leverage to get Russia to the table. It would be crazy for Biden to do something this huge, this close to turning over power without getting Trump's blessing first. Then yesterday, Trump's new special envoy to Ukraine went on Fox News and says that Trump worked behind the scenes with Biden to start bombing Russia. What a stupid comment that was. Well, that's when Putin then came out and gave this press conference saying war is here, that Russia and the West are now at war, going on to say that Trump is smart, he's clever, and that he believes Trump will be able to conclude the war, but says Trump's life could still be in danger, and he shouldn't underestimate Washington's sheer will to get what they want, that we've seen many iterations of this, i.e. assassinations in U.S. political history. JFK, Reagan says he won't be safe until he's sworn in on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2025. Roll the tape.
President Trump, a smart and experienced person, will come up with a solution, especially given that he has gone through quite an ordeal of fighting to reclaim the Oval Office. Well, probably just like me, you are amazed not by the fact that absolutely uncivilized means had been used against Trump, all the way up to assassination attempts, numerous assassination attempts. And I think he's not safe even now. The history of the United States has known many cases, but I think President Trump is a smart person and a cautious one, I hope. But what amazed me most, that in fighting him, not only Trump was subjected to humiliating court procedures, accusations and so on, but his family was attacked as well, his children was attacked. Gangsters don't do this in Russia. When criminal gangs fight, they don't touch children and women. It's men who fight among themselves. But those guys stooped as low as that. I think this is so... This looks so bad that it only reconfirms how low the political system of the United States has fallen.
In another story, the CEO of Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, flew to Palm Beach, Florida to meet with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. There were reportedly seats at the table, but the tech CEO chose to bend the knee instead, as the media says. But what was this meeting really about? Well, who initiated the meeting? Mark initiated. Mark Zuckerberg called Trump and asked for the face-to-face. So Trump invites him down, says, come down to Mar-a-Lago, come meet with me. He has Stephen Miller sit in on the meeting. What ended up taking place was Mark Zuckerberg spending the next 24 hours at Mar-a-Lago, basically being joined into the circle. And this circle keeps getting bigger and bigger. Look, if I'm Trump or Stephen Miller, what's the one thing I want from Mark? I want the Facebook files. I want every single censorship request the government made, the FBI made, CIA, all of them. I want to organize a pool of independent reporters, just like Elon did at X, to happen at Facebook. And Mark, like a lot of Silicon Valley CEOs recently, have come around to Trump in the last 6 months.
I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
In another story, New York State Senator Liz Kroiger goes off the deep end after Trump's massive election victory, now saying she wants her state to secede from the Union and join Canada. A United States state senator. We're accustomed to people in Congress saying nutty things, but you don't often hear it from the Senate. Senators are considered grown-ups, where Congress is like middle school. Well, if you're a New Yorker living in the 28th district, your senator, who is supposed to be representing you, supposed to represent all of her district, is saying with the utmost sincerity that she will begin working on a way with other northeastern states like Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut to secede and become Canada's newest province. Watch this.
One New York state senator is even floating the idea of having New York withhold federal taxes and then the Empire State seceding to join Canada.
Instead of us all trying to illegally cross the border at night without them noticing, which is pretty hard because there's lots of us, that they should instead agree to let us be the Southeast province, a new province of Canada. New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont would combine and be a great new province as the Southeast province of Canada. Basically, everybody in these states are progressive Democrats who would fit in pretty well with the political philosophy of at least most of the Canadian elected officials. Well, in a new interview with Politico, State Senator Kruger, who chairs the powerful State Senate Finance Committee, also says that her state and the others should stop sending tax money to the federal government as part of their protest. New York State's controller says that the Empire State sends more than $361 billion a year, or provides 6.5% of the whole federal budget.
Yeah, that's not happening. Not a chance in hell that happens. This takes TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, to like a whole new level. And she also said, by the way, that New York should withhold federal taxes to combat Trump's deportation plan. This is District 28. It's the east side of Manhattan. So if you live in New York City or you know anyone who lives in New York City, you can attest to the fact that shit's getting weird in New York. It's turning into like Gotham City. There's muggings, shootings, gangs patrolling the streets now. My sister was just telling me at Thanksgiving yesterday, she lives in Brooklyn, that the NYPD doesn't even do anything anymore. It's like frightening. Well, when you elect nitwits like Liz Kroiger, AOC, Kathy Hochul to run your city, run your state, when you have a group of the most unimpressive people you can find come together and run one of the largest states, one of the largest cities in the country, this is what happens. And speaking about terrible politicians, that brings us to our next story. Who will lead the Democratic Party now that Biden and Kamala are both out? Democrats are lost. Their party has splintered into multiple factions. And unlike the Republicans, which have always contained independent thinkers and groups within the party. Democrats don't have that. They are only powerful when they unite as one, and they've always been really good at doing that. It's why you never hear Democrats off message. They're like robots. They're all forced to think exactly alike, or at least appear that way in public. You never go off book if you're a Democrat. It's why AOC is so uninteresting nowadays. Remember when she was first elected? She thought she was allowed to think and express her opinions, protesting outside Nancy Pelosi's office. Yeah, we saw how quickly she got bent into shape. Well, after Trump swept the election 3 weeks ago, Democrats are all over the place. They are lost, waking up without an identity, spending 8 years trying to convince America that this guy was Hitler, only to find out he's now the most popular politician in modern history.
Take a look here. President Trump's transition net approval. You go back to November of 2016. Look at this. It was just at plus 1 point. Just at plus 1 point. That is well below the historical norm. Look at where we are today. Significantly higher, plus 18 points. That's 17 points higher on the presidential transition net approval rating. The bottom line is this. If 8 years ago Americans were lukewarm on Donald Trump, at this particular point, they're giving him much more the benefit of the doubt. A lot more Americans are in love with this transition. And what we're seeing here is Donald Trump's presidential transition is getting a thumbs up, and dare I say, 2 thumbs up from the American people.
And there's a massive hole in the power dynamic in the Democratic Party right now. Biden and Harris are out. The top spot is sitting there open, waiting for someone just to step up and grab it. Who's going to do that? Well, leave it to none other than Hillary Clinton herself to try her hand at it, never missing an opportunity to capture more power. Look at this. Daily Mail reporting yesterday, Hillary Clinton sparks wild 2028 speculation with social media announcement. Speculation is run rampant about whether Hillary Clinton may run for president in 2028 after a speaking event was announced in coming weeks. The event, planned for the afternoon on December 7th, will include remarks from the powerful couple regarding their past political and philanthropic work. Online theories first began swirling shortly after the announcement was made about whether it could serve as a launching point for Hillary's future political ambitions. That would be the best thing for the Republican Party if Hillary Clinton becomes the leader of the Democrat Party. I doubt it's going to happen, but it's funny to think about, right? I do think we're going to see Gavin Newsom run for president in 2028. He's termed out now. He's a lame duck. His term ends in 2026. Good riddance. But he'll likely run in 2028 if the Democrats allow a primary. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.